We have an amazing presentation for you today from Carl over here from EY. He has some amazing experience in talking about data lineage and kind of the backgrounds of what's going on there. And honestly, before I go into too much depth and spoil what Carl's got in store for you, I'll let him take it away.
Perfect, thank you everyone. Good afternoon. I'm sure you've been hearing and seeing all the great things that SaaS has to offer. Myself, I've been energized and are simply amazed at the continued innovation and the future of what SaaS has brought to the table. You probably realize, but by July of next year, SaaS will be turning 50 years old. That's 50 years of providing value to thousands of organizations. But realizing that value is certainly not possible without the efforts of people like you. The challenge that many of us are facing today is how do you take a very successful integrated system like SaaS and make it even better? There are certainly many considerations, but the one I will be speaking with you today aligns with just one of SaaS's many core competencies, and that is unlocking the power of data. One of the key elements to the success of any modernization effort in understanding that data is data lineage. Data lineage 101 refers to the process of tracking the flow of data from its origin to its final destination and everything in between. It provides a clear understanding of where that data originated from, how it's changed, and its final destination within the data pipeline. A data lineage project is really just like any other project and is certainly not without challenges. But fortunately for all of you, those challenges are well understood, if not easily identifiable. For example, I think we all recognize there's a significant knowledge gap when you're looking at being transformative and taking your SaaS 9 platform and moving it to a more modern platform like SaaS Viya. Your project itself is probably competing with multiple priorities and different initiatives within your own organization. The overall scope and complexity and what you're trying to achieve is really high. There's a lot of things to consider. The nature of your system is so entwined with your business that dependencies are not easily apparent, but you certainly know that they exist. Well, data lineage helps you manage all of these concerns. To use the analogy of an iceberg, it's not about what you see and therefore what is known above the surface. In terms of data lineage, the more you bring to the surface, the greater the chances of success. So let's start by recognizing that this really is a value-driven approach. Data lineage is a means to an end, and your approach needs to be value-driven. Working with our customers, we complement this not only with a rich set of tooling and utilities, but with experience. And experience has shown it starts seeing the same world, just maybe a little different. Modernization projects are often rooted around the following concepts. You need to convert your code. You need to migrate your data. You need to provision infrastructure and deploy applications. And yes, every one of those points are necessary. But if you look at it more from a transformative narrative, it now becomes You are actually building something better than what existed before. You are simply not converting, but you are all innovating. And until AI can come along and do this presentation in my place, that stuff doesn't happen without people like you. So look at it this way, as our teams certainly do. There's certainly an energy and excitement when we tackle our own data lineage projects because we recognize that this is the first step in a much larger transformation journey. But in order to do all of this requires a certain level of understanding, and that level of understanding is achieved by acquiring knowledge. In terms of data lineage, that's all the stuff that I spoke about that's underneath the iceberg. Maybe neglected for many years, not because it's unusable, but because it works. And if it works, simply why bother fixing it? So over time, these legacy systems continue to remain relevant, but now simply have become outdated. Limited support, no new feature enhancements, no further security updates, the list simply goes on and on. So now when you talk about modernization from a strategic point of view, you're simply stuck. So on paper, you may be ready to move to VIA, but you come to the realization rather quickly that literally getting from the left side to the right side without an approach presents a significant challenge. Step number one, like any other project, no different, data lineage starts with all about ingesting your data. The mechanics of a data lineage project is quite simple. The data is simply the fuel that feeds the engine. The process is iterative, and it's a very multifaceted approach. We use a variety of techniques and technologies, some old, some new, but at its core, it decomposes the problem and stores everything into a centralized knowledge base. It marries this process with a strong business perspective that allows business information to be overlaid on top of your raw lineage objects. Now, armed with all of this information, it allows you, with your data, to build that level of understanding. It effectively enables you to strategize and plan your transformation initiative. And once you do that, now you become the purveyor of information to an agent that can enable change. Data lineage enables that change by presenting an overview of the entire system. A lot of usable metrics that provide you an immediate understanding of the task at hand. Some are straightforward and are of a technical nature. For example, the first line on the screen, just giving you an inventory of your SaaS environment. But additionally, many of these additional metrics are of a business nature, which predominantly take up the majority of these screens. Being able to identify and classify your programs based on business domains, based on use cases, taking a look at the complexity within each business domain and classifying how your programs are actually being used by your business. All within one simple, easy to understand dashboard. The second thing, data lineage allows you to drill down at a very technical level. You are now able to trace through exactly how each business case is consuming data, producing data, passing data between programs, leveraging reusable components like a set of SAS macros from an AutoCall library. And on that note, are there any SAS programmers here in the room? Raise your hand if you're a SAS programmer. Perfect, I'm going to come down for a minute. I myself am a SAS programmer. I've lived and coded in SAS for many different years. I have a soft spot, keep your hands raised, for all these SAS programmers. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Beautiful. Got 2 hands raised. So now, as a SAS programmer, have you ever been asked to analyze and improve upon a SAS programmer that was written by someone else? And also given the task of, well, when you do that, make sure you don't break anything when you're modifying that code. So under that premise, I think you can come to the immediate realization of the value of being able to decompose lineage at this level and the value that that brings to the table. And finally, for any of the chief data officers in the room, data lineage enables you by simply able to describe the technical debt at hand at a very high level. Are there any CDOs in the room? All right, no CDOs. Well, if you were, I would have a contract ready for you to sign right now. In terms of data lineage, you can spend as much time attempting to diagnose this problem forever. It doesn't really matter the size of your organization. The amount of information that even one department yields provides actionable outcomes. So my advice to you is don't wait to complete your data lineage project, but rather look at it as an opportunity to get started sooner. And when you do this, you realize that your project is something much bigger and certainly more transformative. You realize it's actually driven by 2 work streams. One work stream is technical, the second work stream is business driven. To be able to understand and combine those insights from both worlds is necessary when you're trying to develop a very transformative roadmap. And that roadmap is founded on facts. Actionable elements from the data lineage discovery process that can manifest itself into an understanding of complexity that ultimately lead to something that is actionable, such as effort and budgetary planning. So putting these pieces all together, you now arrive with a very high degree of confidence that your data lineage actually becomes one of the foundational pillars that anchors your organization's transformative initiative. To wrap things up, we at EY continue to believe in the power that SAS brings. We continue to innovate on multiple fronts, and our solutions and methods continue to evolve and mature, especially in the space of leveraging AI as an enabler for effective decision making. On behalf of EY, thank you for attending. Enjoy the rest of the conference, and go Leafs.
Thank you so much, Carl. Now just to open up to the crowd, are there any questions that we have for Carl before he takes his way? All right, well, if not, then let's give Carl another round of applause for the amazing presentation. Thank you so much to Carl and EY for being here. And thank you for attending. We really appreciate you coming by. Stick around, we've got some more presentations coming soon.